Hi guys, welcome to Revival Fire Online. I'm Apostle Marsha Pedro saying welcome, welcome. We are on it's the 13th, 13th day of September 2024. And as you realize already, we're winding down the year. Hello Lola, hello Nalini, hi Shariza, and all those who are coming to join in. It's important that we prepare ourselves for 2025. You must be right. Hi. We prepare ourselves for 2025. Whenever I minister, I believe in house in whichever church, I would always say I would encourage people to take their spiritual temperature. What's your spiritual temperature? What's your spiritual temperature right now as we are about to cross over in a couple of months? I don't know all the days, right? I'm not going to get that analytical. Um, into 2025 because I'd be almost, let's say we're at the middle of September and that's going to finish. And then we have October. October is a busy month for me. Then it's November, and before you know it, it's Christmas, and the year is over. Where are we at? Usually people get nostalgic or they get carried away with the emotions of Christmas and preparing stuff and I think many times we numb our emotions, we numb our realities, and we do not prepare for the what is to come. 2025. Today I was hi Janet. Today I was reminiscing a little with one of my spiritual daughters. I hardly ever do that. And I was saying, wow, I saw a photo of someone and it triggered memories. I was saying, hi, Kathy Ann, hi, Marie. I was saying, wow, I had a bumper 2025. And I was telling that spiritual daughter, I said, listen to me, in all the maybe 11 years you've known me, I think we've made the most memories in 2024. Yeah, I think we've made the most memories in 2024. Whether it was going to a retreat, whether it was going down shopping, or it was going to a ministry thing, it was going to a prayer breakfast, a deliverance service. We made the most memories in 2024. So what about you? Where is your spiritual temperature right now? Let's be honest. Are you like me in that peace place? I think I'm not quite at my peace place there, but at a place of being content. I'm very, very extremely settled. But let's hear where some of you are at. If you are on this evening and you know someone who's just feeling hopeless, or they just don't know what to expect in 2025 with everything around, go ahead and like and share this video. Call up some of your co-workers. Hi, Renee Reed. Hi, Crystal. Call up some of your say, hey, Apostle Marsha is on. She's going to give us some practical advice on how we prepare. How do we pace ourselves, Sheldon Mitchell? How do we pace ourselves for 2025? What do we do? You see, I believe it was wow. I'm just sitting and remembering this, and wow. I think in 2023, God said to me, Marsha, do not ever, um, I don't want you to, I want you to step into your new season. I don't want you to stumble into your new season. And thank you, Jim Masu. You're getting to my rest and peace place. In 2023, God told me of 2024, He said, I do not want you to stumble into your new season. I kept telling people that don't stumble into your next season. And I think every single season, every year, every I would do this chronological countdown and prepare the people of God. And that's what I've been doing from the beginning of September. And and when we got into 2024, I had wow, what a bumper year with so many transitions. And I don't know what 2025 is going to hold, but I know that it's going to be a solid place. That's how I feel. It's going to be yes, Kathy Ann, thank you. Resting and expectant. I agree with you, Kathy. Come on, guys. How are you all feeling? Crystal is feeling her peace place. That's good, Crystal. And right now we just decree and we declare that that environment around you, it's becoming a really, really peaceful place. You know, we're getting ready to cross over into New Year and the opportunity for a new season. A new year does not necessarily mean a new season, but for many of us, it can be. It can be a new season. And we're not quite done with the old year, but we're not yet in the new year. I felt like this many seasons of my life. I think most seasons of my life. I I was when I would gain or lose weight or just remain at a weight, but I was never quite at a certain size. I'm never I'm never a 16 or 18 or a 20 or a 14. I'm between a 14 and a 16, or I'm a between. And what do we do? How do we maneuver? And I really believe God is downloading in His people great strategy on how to maneuver these next couple of months, and He's downloading in us the resilience. And again, this is not my note, not in my notes, but He's giving us a capacity, a greater threshold to carry that thing He's called us to. I really believe that some of you, I was listening to a great person today, and I don't know who that great, I don't remember, but he said fruit as a result of relationship. And I'm really seeing some of you, your fruit is about to mature as we cross over. You know that thing, that blossom. And he said giftings can come upon you suddenly because they're a gift. I can just pop up and say, hey Gemma, here's a gift, here's a cheesecake. I can say, hey Janet, here's a gift, here's a nice apple cinnamon strudel. I think that's a good thing. And I believe some of you are about to step into that place where your fruit is about to mature in 2025. So it's stuck somewhere in between pursuit, burnout, and possibility. Yeah? We're stuck, hi Pascal, Lois, Suzette. We're stuck somewhere in between pursuit, burnout, and possibility. That's where we're stuck. As a child, we used to fight for the end seats in the family car. Well, I don't know if I fought as much as I spoke, because as you know, I'm not much of a physical fighter. But test me now, I could try. But we used to fight for the end seat in the family car because you got to look out the window and comfortably rest our body weight on the door. And a long time we used to rest the weight on the door and that kind of thing. And because we wanted the end, the left side or the right side, nobody wanted to stay in the middle, in between. You know, even on airplanes, my husband and I usually travel together, and he knows it. I don't need to say it to him. He knows I want the end seat. I want the window seat. In that case, sometimes he lets me get it. Sometimes he doesn't. But I just keep a straight face in this last season, and I say whatever they allot to me, I'm going to take it. But regardless, we always want the end of a thing so that we can see what's going on outside of our lives. We can see what's going on the other end, or we can reminisce on what's going on to where we began. And no one wants to be in the middle, but we are not in charge of time. We're not in charge of time. God is, and we are here again. We're here again. While it may not be a physical place, it certainly is season for many of us while we wait somewhere in between. You see, the place that we are in right now, the middle place, that place in between, is a place where we have God's assignment and we understand the things of God, but we are waiting for the nod of God to move forward in the next place. And it's critical that we wait for the nod of God to move forward into the next place. Because as I said, some of us may move chronologically into a new year, but we may not move into a new season. A new year doesn't mean a new season in the spiritual realm. The the in between, the middle is a critical point, and I want to give you some tips on how to best maximize these few days. So I say days, I know it's months, but these few days, so that you are positioned to start 2025 ready to dive in deep. And it's something God spoke to me, and I believe I've been saying it to my congregation. The tide has shifted. The tide has shifted. The tide has shifted. And I think I said it maybe last week. Only large ships can only float where the water is high, and things have shifted. So what are some of the things that we do to prepare ourselves? And I would have shared some of these things before, and I would have added some things, but we always need to be reminded of these things. What are some of the things that we what are some of the tips on how best to maximize the few days so that we are positioned to start 2025? And my words are very intentional because I have been going through this thing for the past couple hours, mulling it over in my mind for the past week, but going through this message for the past couple of hours. I'm saying, God, I want to tell your people everything they want to hear for 2025 because I want your people to win. Listen, listen, brothers and sisters, mummies and daddies, aunties and uncles. I want to win. I want to, and winning simply means I want to do that thing that God wants me to do. And I want to be in that place that He wants me to be in 2025. I don't want to be in the same place. I don't want to be in a stagnant place. I don't want to be in a place of decline, in a place of being a recluse, in a place of being offended. Even if some challenges may come with the weather, even if some challenges may come with finances, even if some challenges may come with our physical bodies, I still want to win. And here's some winning things, some tips that you can get, that you can apply to your lives. Don't get distracted with the noise. You know, I spoke to one of my intercessors yesterday, and she said to me, she said, Mom, she said, I sometimes I stop. I don't read the news because of the details. Of everything is gruesome and heinous and inconsiderate, and you know there's so much that's going around, whether it's local, regional, international. And God is saying to you, do not get distracted with the noise. There is so much noise. Yes, Janet, I want to win. There's so much noise around us right now. It is as if I hear in the back, it's if I hear geographically. Geographically, I hear two things as a prophet of God. Geographically, I hear there's so much stirring up behind me, but geologically, I hope I'm saying the right thing, under the earth and in the spirit realm, I also hear God, something a bubbling and something a brewing. So regardless of the noise, do not get distracted with the noise. There are many people whispering many promises and waiting to enter into many covenants. And something God reminded me today. He said, Marsha, Pedro. He said, Marsha, remind them that covenant is not convenient. And you know, I said, okay, God, and He said, remember, you're married. My covenant. This is not convenient. I don't get to be married, and that's one of the greatest covenants of my life, other than my relationship with Jesus. I don't get to be married when I wear the ring, and when I take it off, I'm not. And there are many people waiting to whispering many promises to us. If you do this and if you do that, and you're waiting to enter many covenants, but covenants are not a matter of convenience. You don't keep them when it's good and back off when it's bad. And having said that, the noise can attract us, but when we get to the attraction, we can get attacked. You see, many things want our attention, and they will put out nice, attractive features, but they want to attract to attack. So you need to be mindful of the noise. Don't get distracted with the noise of the world, because the frequency of heaven is about to shift. Actually, I would say that the frequency of heaven has shifted, and God's unveiling a whole new plan in many of your lives, and you know, you've been through some places. People who get distracted with noise are those who are not grounded. You're not grounded. If you get distracted with noise, you're not grounded. Remember Gideon's great success in Judges chapter 7, and I will Gideon had 100 men with him, and they were at the edge of the camp, and they were looking. It was the middle watch. It was the changing of the guards, and what did they do? They made noise. That was his strategy, to make noise, and then you know he sent in He sent in some stuff and he smashed the jars and he sent in the torches and all that kind of thing. But this account is just brilliant as a tactic of war. You know, the whole story with Gideon and noise and how he did it and how the enemy can do it um, at times in our lives. There's so many truths with this account that are applicable today. The time was just as we are today, in a place in between. Brothers and sisters, my dear friends, we are in between. Hold on. Hold on. The God has changed. Many things have shifted in the world in 2024. Many things have shifted in the world in 2024. And it's not strange that I was reminiscing about how much of my life, I don't think my life has shifted. I mean, I live at the same place. I, have the same ID card number, more or less. I have the same thing, but I have shifted. The person has shifted. The God has changed. Many things have shifted in the world in 2024. And we're about to see many more change, especially, and this is specifically, especially in the economic systems and social norms. Economic systems and social norms. We're about to see dramatic shifts. When I say economic system, I mean money, I mean finance, I mean the technology with which it is handled and conveyed, and social norms, people's habits, people's preferences, so many things about to shift. New creativity and innovation has started and it will continue to transform those who are teachable and attentive. So it's nothing bad. New creativity, actually, it does not have to be bad. New creativity and innovation has started and it will continue to transform those who are teachable and attentive. And the things and the third thing that I want to share with you about Gideon's whole story is that the things that were used to distract were vessels that did not serve their purpose. There are some of you around vessels that you people, environments, things that are not accomplishing purpose. And what's happening is that because you are on your way on destiny's path, because you are accomplishing purpose, what happens? They are used to distract you. You know, I was listening again to someone, and he said the enemy knows that, he can attack you, and if he attacks you, you know how to fight back. But if he distracts you, you get tied up. If he distracts you, it's totally different. You get tied up because being attacked knows I'm under war. But when you're being distracted, there's much more deception, and there's much more, there's much more things to figure out there before you fight back. So don't get distracted with the vessels that don't serve their purpose. Jars are not, and in this situation, the jars that I guess they call them pitchers, I guess they were used to carry water, I most believe. The jars in the natural are not used to carry noise, they are used to carry substance. If you are not filled with substance, you will not manifest your purpose. If you are not filled with substance, like those jars, if you're not filled with substance, you'll not manifest your purpose. It's possible that if you get into the wrong hands or wrong company, you can be used to bring distraction and ultimate destruction. So, one of the tips I want to give you, don't get distracted with the noise. Noise can distract and noise can destroy us. Another thing I want you to be mindful of is the fact that you must complete the assignments that were given. Complete the assignments. When the Lord told me, Marsha, I want you to step into 2024 and I don't want you to stumble, I found it so ironic. There were days of crying because for most of you would know that I had a stumble and I injured my right ankle. And stepping usually meant that I hopped on one foot, or I moved with some discomfort. But regardless, I remembered God's assignment, God's words to me that I must step into everything that I did, and embrace everything, regardless of my physical discomfort, or regardless. of how daunting it may be to do this thing. And God has ordained for us various tasks or assignments to complete. It is it has become the cry of my heart that the body of Christ complete every assignment, and especially the people who are around me, that they complete the assignments that God has given to them. If we have not completed them, then we will enter 2025 in the chronos, but we will not step into any kairos. And I want to remind you of the parable with the virgins in Matthew 25, 1 till 10. And and again, the parable, there were five wise, five foolish, and they went out to meet the bridegroom, and five were wise enough. They topped up on their supplies, regardless of the fact that he was not coming. Guys, you may not see what's coming. We're in the middle. We may not see a bridegroom coming, but as I said from the beginning, we're somewhere in the middle of purpose, burnout, and promise. If you're in that burnout, please still stock up. Even when you can't see exactly what God is doing on his timeline for your life, still stock up. Don't stop giving. Don't stop loving. Don't stop praying. Don't stop studying. Don't stop abiding in his presence, because the bridegroom is going to come. Your time is going to come. Your season time is going to shift. And the foolish ones, they took their lamps, but they did not take any oil with them. They didn't stock up. They didn't store up. And midnight, the cry rang out, hey, the bridegroom is here. Come on. And and the ones who were prepared, they were able, and the ones who were not prepared, they could not go to the banquet, and the door was shut. The door was shut. Again, I want to note some invaluable truths that we can get from this passage. The foolish virgins did not take any oil with them. You need to have substance. You need to carry your name must be known in heaven. You must have substance, not the wonderful outfits you wear. And I love nice clothing, not the wonderful car you drive or the dollar value in your bank account. You need to have spiritual substance. We must have spiritual substance for this 2025. The foolish virgins didn't take any oil with them. In this season, many are forgetting to spend that quality time with God's word and in worship. You're not spending that time in word and worship. So where is your worth? Where's your oil? Where are you going to get the oil? The oil only comes with intimacy. The oil only comes with intimacy. On many occasions, I've told people, I've said, listen to me. And I just tell you guys as it is. If I just had 5 minutes and I had to choose between eating a meal or getting something or having a shower and spending time with God, I'd spend that time with God, and I'd go do whatever I have to do. And I always told people, do your best. Remember Jesus, and he'll fill in the gaps. Always say that to people. Intimacy with God, the presence of God, being in that right place and that right time and that right frame of mind to deliver what God has to deliver. There is nothing that can stop and nothing that can keep me from being in that place at that time. If you don't have Holy Spirit in the next season, then all other spirits will latch themselves onto you. Trust me. Then all other spirits will latch themselves onto you. And here's what's going to happen with the increase of information and innovation. Deception is going to come in. Deception is going to come in. If we are not grounded, every wind that blows is going to take our roots. Deception is going to come in. You see, we're about to experience one of the biggest information highways and opportunities that we've ever experienced in 2025. But we need to know when God says to sow, we need to know when he says to store, and we need to know when he says to stop. We need to know when he says to sow. We need to know when he says to store, and we need to know when to stop. So So the virgins didn't take the foolish virgins didn't take any oil with them. The other thing is the wise virgins stored up oil because they knew that there would be a time of waiting, a time of in between. Not only will there be a time of waiting, but as soon as the season shifts, there will be no time for gathering resources. There will be, listen, God was telling me before October of 2023, Marsha, I need you to step into your new season. Do not stumble into your new season. God foreknew that I was going to have a literal physical fall. He foreknew what he saw my life from the beginning to the end. And he knew, and he's warning me, Marsha, be bold, be brave, be focused, be bold, be brave, be focused. And I'm saying to someone this evening, there will be a time of waiting, but as soon as the season shifts, there will be no time for gathering of resources. Gather what you need to gather now. You will be expected to quickly get into action when the wave of God's glory hits the earth. Those without oil will be playing catch up. And we know in the kingdom there's nothing like catch up. The enemy will come and he will try to attach, and you would have to find your grounding. It's so much easier if you would just store up. And the third thing I want to talk to you about is don't get carried away in sharing and publicizing your oil, because there are those who are waiting to manipulate you in order to weaken its potency in your life. Do not get carried. I know that's a long sentence. I'll repeat it. Do not get carried away in sharing and publicizing your oil. The wise virgins, I'm going to keep my oil. I'm going to do my stuff. I'm going to be focused. I am going to get my oil, get my stuff together. I'm going to be focused. Don't get carried away in sharing and publicizing your oil, because there are those who are waiting to manipulate you in order to weaken its potency in your life. And I, I want to say I was reading, so I don't know what I was reading today, because I mean, on a Friday I spend time with God so much, and I read so many things. Sometimes I'm not able to always reference it, but I read that someone was saying people who are not occupied in the season, they will allow themselves to be pawns in the enemy's hands, and they can very well be used as a distraction for someone else if you're not occupied, if you're not grounded, if you don't have your oil. So you don't go publicizing, hey, this is my oil, I have so much liquid crude and I have so much oil, when in truth and in fact, someone would say, okay, then so she spends time with God from 5 to 6. Here's what, maybe we could organize a nice Zumba class from 5 to 6, an online Zumba class from 5 to 6. Of course, I have nothing against Zumba. I guess it's good. I never did it. From 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then again, you're distracted. So just don't publicize. Be wise. Know that while we wait, and this is something I always tell people, while we wait, what do we do in this season? You may say, so what do we do from September till December? Actually, I'm not even saying from September to December. I'm saying from September to November, because at November we need to know, hey, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, this is my confidence, this. Because when the month of December hits, we have so many things in our minds and in our brain, and so many festivities and family and all of that. We would have had to store up so much that in the month of December we need to have balance. We need to be at a place where we're balanced. The virgins, I believe, let me go back to the scripture. They all became drowsy and fell asleep. There comes a time of balance. There comes a time when we too need to rest. There comes a time when we need to soak, we need to store and all of that. But there comes a time we all will rest. And in the month of December, we'll have that time of balance, and we'll have that time of reset, and that time with family and all that. Because when the month of January comes, we need to show our oil reserves, okay? So you may say, then what do we do in this season? Simply stated, what do we do? And it's something that I've ministered, and I always tell people about this thing. And I'm so happy that I can say now that it is something that I've learned in this year. And it's something that I've cherished, and I thank God for everything that happened, because He taught me how to wait. And while I was waiting, I felt him in dimensions, and I knew him in places that I've never known. And while I waited, I understood that there is a place in waiting. There is a savoring in waiting. And even as I give you these tips in waiting, and as I share with you, I really pray that the Spirit of God comes into your living rooms, into your cars, into your kitchens, into your wherever you are, and that cover. The ladies who did retreat with me last 2 weekends, you remember me telling you about that cover, that covering presence, that hovering presence, that abiding presence of the Spirit of God, that the Spirit of God comes upon you as you wait until you get to 2025. Um, Here's a few pointers on how you should wait. We wait and anticipate. I know some of you are saying, "Hey, I'm expectant." I believe Lola was expectant. You wait and anticipate. Many wait and become despondent. Don't wait and get bored. Don't wait and get bored. I've learned in this season how to wait and be re-energized and just stay literally in one place with the ice pack on my ankle, or just stay in one place and wait for that physical pain, or just stay in one place for daybreak. Wait and anticipate. Don't wait and become bored. Don't wait and become despondent. Despondency either prolongs the process, or causes you to totally abort the process. Don't become despondent. Don't get angry. Don't seethe with the anger. Don't get discouraged. Don't start envying other people. What can you do while you're waiting? You worship. You experience God. You read the word. You find people who are similar to you. I always say this. Find people. It's good to do things that you may have an interest in, but you may have never pursued, because in the next season what's going to happen is that you're going to need to shift your time schedule, and you need to going to shift some stuff. So what do? You wait and anticipate. And again, this other thing that I always tell people: wait and congregate. We were born for community. Man is gregarious. He needs to have that community. Hebrews 10:24 speaks about it. Let us not forsake the assembling of ourselves as a manner of some, but exhorting one another, and come together. Let's come together. Let's wait and congregate, come in community. The word clearly says that we are to live in community. I challenge you to find those who are waiting just like you, single mommies just like you, married mommies just like you, daddies who are accountants just like you, or people who may be in a similar spot. I'm trying to read, I'm trying to pray. Some people will find people and feed off the experiences and build strong brotherly networks. One thing that I've done and I've done and I've done in this season, and I still do, is wait and educate. I remember there are times in my life when I would go into places, and I would be called upon to say things that I knew nothing about. I remember one of my very first Bible school assignments was preaching at a wake. Their funerals, and this preaching at the wake, apparently this person was very evangelistic. So they wanted an evangelistic preacher at the wake, and I'm like 22 years old, and I'm an evangelistic preacher at a wake, and I do not know these people. I do not know even the location I'm at. I just know my friend took me there, and they were supposed to do the preaching, but they said, "Marsha, we think you should do the preaching." So I did the preaching. Wait and educate. I had been waiting, I had been educating, I had been learning, so that when the opportunity came, I just knew what to preach, and I knew how to preach prophetically. I knew how to sense the atmosphere, and he knew how to sense what was going on, and I knew how to shift. You understand? Wait and have faith. Wait and have faith. Some time ago, I would have challenge people, wait and have faith. And we would have did different acts of having faith. And I know people would have come into my office and they would have said, Apostle Marsha, well, I don't have money, but I want to get this, and I don't have, I everything is near dead. And I really need to get this, and everything is dried up, and everything is hopeless, and I've been sending out my resumes and sending out and sending out. And I said to them, I said, you know what's happening? You're waiting, but you're not having faith. You wait, yes, but you must have faith. Something must be applied. Something must be applied to that waiting. Faith must be a part of your wait. If faith is not a part of your wait, then nothing is going to happen. So we must wait and we must have faith. How must we wait? We must wait and be an example. Many times we wait and we're not mindful of our Christian conduct. Many times we wait and we're not mindful of the fact that, hey, I am next in line. I was actually telling one of my spiritual daughters, I said the minute got David got all oily with Samuel. I said all oily. He got all oily with Samuel, meaning he got anointed by Samuel. The minute he got all oily, he was not an apostle. He was not, nobody said the great judge David. I mean the psalmist David, right? King David. Nobody said the great gatekeeper David. Nobody called him anything. He just went, he got anointed, and he went back to the field. But what did he do? He waited, and he was an example, and there was something inside of him while he was waiting that said, listen, I'm going to take care of the lion. And even while you wait, you don't abort your assignment. You don't abort your Christian living. You don't abort the responsibility that hey, I must be a healer. Even while I'm waiting, I must be a healer. I remember I was not even saved, but I was probably about 16, and one night the fan conked out in the room. The fan just decided to stop working, and it was hot, and there were many mosquitoes, and I didn't have that much faith, but I just said, in the name of Jesus, and I put my hand on the fan, the part that I thought was most sick, the part that I thought was busted. I mean, I think I knew enough science to know that the head, the motor was the part. And the name of Jesus, start back working. And I just put my hand, and I was no great preacher, but while you're waiting, be an example. And while you're waiting, have a consciousness of what's going to happen, have an appreciation of what's going to happen in your assignment, in your life, what's going to happen in 2025. And what happened when David realized that, hey, these people are troubling, the Philistines, they're troubling my people. Hey, they're troubling my people. He didn't say, hey, I'm King David. He just waited, and I need to be an example. God stands up for his people. So he went and he stood up after Goliath. Wait and be an example. Wait and be a template of Jesus. Wait and follow his footsteps. And that's my final point. While you wait for 2025, and it's something that God spoke to me, and it's something that I'll send out again in the future. Do not be moved by the emotions of people and the noises around you, but be led by the footsteps of Jesus. That's what I've been having to find myself do over and over again. It's a recurring action. Sometimes your child takes the plate and he puts it on the couch, and you say no. You take his hand and take his hand and you say, we are going to the kitchen, and you put the plate in the sink, and he does it again, and we do it again. It's a recurring. It's something that God has been saying, Marsha, do not move by the distractions of the noise. Do not be moved by the emotions of people. Do not be moved by Facebook posts. Do not be moved. While you wait for your time, whenever that is, however that is, wherever that is, while you wait even for chronos to shift, wait and follow the footsteps of Jesus. So I've been coming back down to basics, looking, how did Jesus walk? Listen, did he wear Did he wear Nikes? Did he use E45 lotion? I'm just joking. But I've been following the footsteps of Jesus. I've been looking at those people in the gospel who recorded Jesus' emotions. I've been looking at those people in the gospels who recorded how he dealt with crowd management. While I'm waiting, I've been looking at the people who recorded the gospel writers. I mean, recorded how did he deal with money or lack thereof. Was Jesus emotionally intelligent, sorry. Was he a good steward of his time on the earth? That's what I've been looking at. Not the things around me, but the things that are written, the things that are written about the person who have said, I need to follow him and live like him. So as we continue to transition into 2025, I'm going to continue to bring messages like these. I hope you guys were blessed tonight. I hope you guys are stirred up and excited for the next chronos and kairos of your life. And right now, I just want to decree and declare that even those of you who are discouraged, or those of you who feel that your life has sunken into a humdrum, that even right now, the Spirit of God is coming in and He's going to give you that energy. He's going to give you that to push forward and to go into your next season full and ready. So until my next video, until my next broadcast, this is Apostle Marsha Pedro saying, live your life with passion. Live your life in pursuit of Him.